Good morning. Good morning, y'all. It's Rick. Wow. I finally got a bunch of negative comments or negative thumbs downs when I'm talking about the parables and using Noah's Ark as one of the first ones. It's funny, they're not really saying too much about, Adam and Eve. A lot of people love that too. Oh, that's the beginning of it all, You have to believe in the woman's sins and all that stuff. But you'll see, really, all of these stories are all saying the same thing. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown on what God is. God. Oh, we don't have an answer. Yeah, we do. We do have we have a really good calling towards this God, and we understand Him less and less these days because of obvious reasons. You have the synagogue of Satan, which is religion itself, pushing you in the opposite direction of God. So of course a good number of people are out, and I'll have to defend myself and these teachings of Jesus. I don't defend the parables. There's plenty of people out there worrying about what's going to happen, what has happened to the outside of the Bible. I've been there enough that I don't need to care anymore about the outside. I already got my information. One day it may not be there for me to say, oh yeah, well it said this in the book one time. But by then we'll all be, so deep in Satan's, grip that, who care, Every time someone makes a peep, you're going to probably have to ask permission, But right now, while you don't, and in this little window of opportunity, light is allowed to come in. You have to understand that our parents and our ancestors were all forced into this. You had to do it. They say they came here for religious freedom. No, they didn't. They still had the same shit. If you were caught, enjoying Christmas, these Puritans, they stone you. Okay, this they tell you they take the Bible still right off the face. Oh no. There's never been any separation of religion. Again, that's a stupid thing. No one can get a job unless they were Episcopal at one time. Do you understand? They didn't give a Catholic a presidency. Come on. Let's not be so dumb. Anyways, I'm getting off track. We're supposed to be talking about the Lord. Alright, so the Lord, He tells us both that He is both good and evil, and He creates both the darkness and the light. He, God, says all this. And He says it, He says it's from me, my mouth, He says this. And I know God to be like, we're looking at the yin and the yang, we're looking at teeter-totter, we're looking at things that are at opposite ends of each other but still connected. We're looking at our minds, the image of God that we are created in. He does have the devil in him, and he does have the spiritual, the higher side. He is represented as a frequency, a group of frequencies. But each one, you consider that he would be like the rainbow itself, because the lower down on the frequency patterns you get the red, and the higher you go up on these frequencies you get the blues. God is both of these, so you have to separate it. Satan is the redder side, and hell, and the ethereal, more beautiful side, the divine side of this God, is in the blue, and in the ethereal, it's the invisible region. So now we have matter manifesting in one end at the lower frequency of beta, and then which is Earth consciousness. How hard is it for you to understand what Earth consciousness? Are you awake? So the part of you that runs the body is electrical. Do you think that you can't see the two sides? We're like a piece of paper. In order to make a piece of paper come alive, you got one side you can see, and then you got the other side that's hidden from you. Oh, you flip it over. Oh, well, now I can see that side, but the other side's hidden from me. It always happens. These all together, they make one. You know. Generally, the one that you see is going to be considered the negative side, or the male side, the positive. It's the pulse. And the one that you don't see is the female, is the catch. You know, and there's nothing wrong with these symbolizations. You know, and when we talk about the right hemisphere being the mother of us all, and some people think, oh, that's female worship. That is retarded. These are the electrical systems within the brain. There's a positive and a negative side. You just, which side is the negative? Is the beast side, the flesh side. Oh wow, so it's all bad, you know? No, it's not, but it has the ability. All right. So, what the whole point of this God system is that it is a teeter-totter to keep things from moving, keep things from not moving. This is the opposite. A teeter-totter. How much fun is it when someone jumps off of the other side? You know, if he jumps off unexpectedly, boom, you fall. You know, God can't exist if you know, religion says we've got to stomp out the evil. I'm sorry, you know, you can't. You know, and the carnal side is not subject to the laws of God. It can't be, because we have to live. And these stories tell you that. These stories tell you, you know, you're playing around up in, you know, in the pretty things, you know, up in the promised land, you know, you know, you might as well be dead, because, you know, you can't do anything. You're just enjoying life, you know, planting flowers. You're not even shitting up there, you know, you're not doing anything, you know. That may sound like fun to you, but heaven only exists while you're alive. And so while you're up there, you're just going to, you know, deteriorate. So you have to come and eat. You got to come and have some fun. And you got to fulfill the spirit. The spirit's what wants things. Our spirit belongs to God. And the the fleshy side of us belongs. See, even I get mixed up. The spiritual side of us belongs to the divine. The fleshy side of us belongs to hell. It belongs to the devil. And he resides in our third chakra. The seat of the devil is Pergamos. That's our middle chakra. That's the Son of Man also is hanging out in there. So you got the left and right angels that are helping you make your decisions as you go through life, you know. But what we are asked to do is to shut down the system outside, shut down the skin. And this takes the third chakra, pushes it down. You know, when you talk about it opens up the abyss, right? Oh yeah, scary. No, all of this stuff has to be washed. Everything. There's not one part of you that can go unclean. And this is the new wine. Going into a new wine, well, nowadays, wine bottle, you know, but, you know, it used to be wine skins. You know, now that it's bottles, you'll never go sick, you know, because what happens in wine skins, you know, it's a bladder of some kind, and it does grow old. But if you finally put it in a bottle, which is what they're claiming now with these Mandela changes, you'll never bust. Wine doesn't bust bottles, and wine actually is preserved in bottles, in glass bottles, honest. So, you know, it's just a dumb idea to believe any of that stuff in the first place. But you have to look at it metaphysically, or, you know, spiritually, symbolically, that it's always talking about us. And I just spoke about, I just did something with Noah's Ark, and these people were freaking out. Or a friend of mine would say, well, why do we want to save any part of us? You know, we're not being saved. We're not being saved. The water, remember how they say that the earth was destroyed by water and then by fire or something like that? Next will be by fire. Well, they're talking about the earth is your mind and your body, and it's going to be destroyed. The hell is going to be purged from it. The dross. We're going into a furnace. Do you see? We go in there, probably 3, and then 4 show up. You understand? It's just the idea of how it works. We have to go inside. Our second phase is water. You can't get away from that. Water is the well. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to touch that stone. That's all. And that stone is at the top of the mountain. And all these stories are rising you up to the top of the mountain. When you get there, in Noah's story, the rain is going on and on and on for 40 days and 40 nights. But in some of these things, when you're getting fire, destroy, the fire is going to come down rain down from heaven and destroy earth and purify it, It's destroying evil, and it's purifying you. And that's all this is. It's like a McAfee system for our body. Who wouldn't think that we would be made, that we are such wonderful creations, that why wouldn't we have a direct connection to our Maker? Why wouldn't we not have a way of fixing ourselves and being able to, physicians heal thyself? Like they say, this is not make-believe crap, all right? What I discuss, what's on the inside of this Bible, is real shit, real connections within the body that connects you to bring you into places. And all it is a conscious exchange, like a baton relay. Once you shut down the mind is then taken over. This is the donkey being walked up the hill. Do you see? The beast is always going to be us in these stories. You lowly, worthless sinners. Okay? Might as well be the beast. Okay? I lived my life like that for a long time. Cried a bunch and wasn't worthy of shit, and even ran around making less of myself because there was only one perfect being. You think lowly like that, you're never going to get anywhere. That's a trick. Another low conscious trick. Anyways, all these stories are about touching the stone. They're touching this place. It's on the top of the mountain. They're going to open this and it's going to flood down. Even the story of Pegasus. Pegasus is actually birthed whenever Medusa's head is cut off. And she's another one of these stories. She's got the egg. She started off as a beautiful woman. Everyone loved her up there in the God's world. She was just beautiful and pure in everything, in every way. And then one day Poseidon or Neptune, came up and had her from behind while she was playing in the water and defiled her, and this is interesting stories. This is, this is more myth. And they're also telling the same story. So what happens is who is that comes in and chops her head off? Okay, it's another one of those stories, because now she's a mean, awful monster, and the snake is showing and everything, and when you look at her, you turn to stone. It's kind of interesting stuff. But anyways, cut her head off, Pegasus comes out of her neck. So this is a type of being separated from what's above and what's below, and below is your flesh, and above you is your spiritual side. The flying part, he flies up and he kicks the top of a mountain and a floodgate opens up on a fountain. It's all the same story. Once you understand that and see it, you'll see that even the story with Moses, he's looking for the promised land. They drag these people out. Oh, I'd rather be a slave. You drug me out into the desert to kill us, Jeez, well, that's that sparrow, that black sparrow being and what does he do? He finds the rock. God tells him to touch it once. He touches it twice and all hell breaks loose. He puts something of him in there. These stories tell you we don't want anything of you. You have to be shut off. You are the men in the town that driving away the spiritual side. And that's all it's about. Get this in your mind. And then when I tell these stories, you'll understand the whole idea is to climb a mountain within yourself, to touch the stone, and then the hell breaks loose then. And that's the fight against the evil in you. All right? And then you are given this beautiful light to come down to help fight stuff in other people's lives, in other people's worlds, in your immediate surrounding. What can be so terrible with this way Huh? Because we don't give money to some goddamn preacher? Because we're not giving in to the idea that you have to kill some innocent person in order to get your salvation from him? Love from from torture, from any kind of violence whatsoever. Who teaches you to believe that? You know? Enjoy your poverty. You know? Good night. Well, anyways, that's your lesson for today. Because it'll help you in the rest of these lessons, because they're all going to say the same thing. This is the idea of lending your ear to a parable. All of the information is there. And when you hear it, sometimes you have to see it, but when you hear it, you're supposed to see this phase of stuff going on and on and on. It's up the hill, down the hill, up the hill, down the hill, up the hill, down the hill, just like life. But you want to hold on to your crappy worlds until you die, and you want to shit all over this place because you got a better place to go. Good luck. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I love you. And thank you.